Hello, it's Fiery Grace the Gifted. I'm here with a twin flame reading for the collective. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and shuffle. I recommend that those of you who are here from the very beginning really take a moment to reflect on these energies to see if the messages that come through and the things that do resonate um, draw you in to this reading. I just have a feeling that this is a reading that people will be able to come back and watch honestly for probably years just because of how the twin flame waves really work. Um, it doesn't mean you can't watch it though, because sometimes you guys know I'll be like, just don't even watch this right now. I think that you can watch it, even if there's a part of you that doubts some of the things that come through, because maybe your timeline is a little bit more lengthy. But those of you who are here now, those of you who, again, if the energies resonate, you're going to want to probably check this reading out at least one more time in like a month or two. So if it really resonates, especially if you end up watching like all the way to the end, um, and if you end up watching this like you kind of came halfway through the live and came later, and then you start this over, it's going to be weird, but I think you're going to need to take the energies that you see now and actually apply it to the messages you got later. Whereas some of you need to be here right now. That's why you made it here, right? And you're watching this from the beginning to where you can understand and interpret those messages later. I know that's probably like, what? But some of you understand what I'm saying. Some of you realize that it depends on what information you get first, right? That can kind of shift your perception. And so I don't think that's an accident what we're going to experience. So let's go ahead. While we are blessing and shuffling, where are you at? Maybe you can tell us your time zone. Maybe you can tell us your country. Maybe you're visiting somewhere. Where are you at? What are you doing? Let's connect. For some reason, there's something really strange and simple about sharing something like that in the chat that like opens the energy up. I don't know, but it just keeps like, I keep wanting to ask that because I notice when I go back and I listen and I read the chat, whenever I ask something personal, especially about location, there's just something that happens. So I have a feeling there's some people who might need to connect, or at the very least, even feel connected. Because there's some lurkers who don't actually talk in the chat. So they might need to just see that and feel that connection. So let's go ahead and just share something. Again, whether it's about our location or anything else that you feel like you might want to share, how you've been feeling this week, anything that's happened with your counterpart, anything like that. Okay? Alrighty. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Right there. Already. This is incredible. Oh, yeah, I can feel it. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay. What the heck? Look at this. Wait a minute. Oh my. Okay. Okay. What's happening with this 12 energy? Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Come on, let's do this. Okay. Okay. Again. This is spiritual confidence. Yes. Yes. Do you guys do you okay. All right. Grace. Oh my goodness gracious. There's our 20. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 All righty. We're gonna go here first. Would you look at that? This is insane. Upright. Okay. Messages, messages. Oh, loving messages. Oh. Something to bring new balance. Yes. Divine masculine. Ooh. That makes me very happy. Oh my gosh. Divine feminine. Woo-wee. Okay, okay, ready. Okay. But you don't even know it. Oh, you're gonna be so surprised. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, okay. All right. It's time to go back to 2018 and 2019. Now, I understand that not everyone has the same timeline. Some of you, believe that you've been on this journey for 30 years. Like, I've known this person this whole time. Some of you believe that you may have met your twin a week ago. You know what I mean? So I get it. But 2018 and 2019, these are close enough years that even if they don't really seem significant, because some of you are going to be like, yep, I met my twin, blah, blah, you know what I mean? But even if they don't seem significant to your dynamic, because that time doesn't seem to give you answers about union, it is very, very significant. Because that was the time where both partners started to peel back the layers, started a purge that is ending as we speak. And it is, I just realized there's going to be some of you who watch this in 2021, 2022. This is a big reading. I can already sense it. All of this started with the divine feminine awakening that began in 2018. 2019 was the divine, oh my gosh, my words, my years. Stop, Grace. 2021, 2020, 2019, my bad, okay. 2019 started the divine feminine awakening. 2020 started the divine masculine awakening. 2021 is the twin flame mission year, okay? But in 2018, this was when it all began. This is when it was like the switch was flipped. But first, everyone had to get the information. Everyone had to scramble. You need to ask yourself, what happened in 2018? You want to know what happened for me? I started this channel about 3 years ago this week that I'm recording this. I don't know, it was like last week, whatever. But okay, do you see? I started the channel. Everything changed in my life. 2 years ago, not 3. I'm tripping. 2 years ago. So I need you to see things that might not seem related to, things that might not seem important to, things that may not be, again, giving you the answers you need. Something got triggered, a switch got flipped in 2018 that led to the major shifts in 2019. The inner feminine awakening, the practice, the spiritual practices that began, but also the practice making perfect in your growth, even that as well. 2020 has been all about, unfortunately, breaking down, but also building up the patriarchal energy. Okay, so we come into this divine masculine year. And that is where I think, because the divine feminine started it, and the divine masculines in many cases were not willing. Not all. I know we even have some that are probably here right now, but you're a rare few, right? The divine masculines were not necessarily as willing. And because of everything that was happening, that was really given to them to strengthen them, to grow them, to increase their power, they did not necessarily see it that way. So 2020 was kind of a crappy year for a lot of people, like pretty much everyone. And even those who were able to make the best of it still had to deal with the energy around them. Why? Because the energy had been placed in the divine masculine's hands. Think about, even on a societal level, how things like, the Me Too movement, feminism, all those things really came to this kind of peak, this head. And then 2020, a lot of that, it's not that it's gone away. It's just we have other things that we've been focused on. And again, it's the stuff that the divine masculines of the past put into place. It's the things that the divine masculines of the past created that the rest of us were kind of living in. And when everything came to a head, and I feel like there's that Saturn-Pluto conjunction that has just been really, really major, to say the least. I feel like when you put all of that together on the divine masculines who have done their very best to maintain what they built in ego, you see why 2020 looked the way that it did. But none of it was an accident. None of it was like, oh, here's a test, divine masculine. Oh, you failed it. None of it. They've passed. You may not see it that way, especially if they don't seem like they're wanting to come into union. You may not see it that way, but they passed. And 2021, really the next decade, will be unlike anything we've experienced. This next decade is setting us up for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Astrologers, readers, gurus, and guides, we've all been trying to tell you the same information. And because of the number of sources that align, right, that speak about all these things happening now and really pointing back to the past few years, the specific cycles that really compounded the energies, look back and ask yourself, what happened in 2018, especially as that year came kind of to a close? What expectations did you have for 2019? And then look at 2020. Think about, I don't know why, but I just have a feeling most people had huge expectations for this year. We had to. That pressure had to be put onto the divine masculine collective's back. It was the only way for them to realize they were stronger than they knew. Many divine masculines have stood very, very tall this year. Many divine masculines have made massive shifts this year. But it didn't just happen in the blink of an eye. It was seeds that had been planted for years, decades even, probably lifetimes for some. But in 2018 and 2019 and 2020, it was the Twin Flame Collective in particular who felt the pressure of growth, right? The pain of growth. The experiences that went along with it while everyone else in the world was almost completely out of it, maybe even baffled by the things that we were seeing, which is why a lot of people discovered twin flames in the last few years, almost like it's become very mainstream, right? Those of you who've been doing this for a long time probably are like, yeah, actually, not many people knew what I was talking about. But the strange part is, as mainstream as it has become, and as many groups and pages and all of that is out there, for some reason, the divine counterparts still, especially divine feminine collectives, they still felt alone. They felt like they didn't have anyone to talk to. They felt like no one understood. That's over. Next year, people, I say by the end of the year, this time next year, well, most likely, I'm talking about 2021, fall and winter of 2021, well, most likely people will talk about twin flames at the very least with an awareness beyond some weird thing that my sister, cousin, brother, whatever is into. You know what I mean? So just be prepared. But there's a reason for that. And it's because the counterparts, look at the alignment. The counterparts are finally ready. The counterparts are finally opening themselves up to their purpose because they have decided to reclaim their personal power, because they have decided not to allow fear, negativity, the past, their beliefs, the feelings that made them think they would be stuck for life. They decided not to allow any of that to permeate any more of their being, their existence, their energy. They're done. They want abundance. They want to manifest the life of their dreams. You want to manifest the life of your dreams. And it's not that you didn't before. It's that so much has happened over the past 3 years in particular. You are done. That was not an accident. And I feel like maybe this is something good to share in the comments or in the chat, right? Yes, Grace, that's exactly how I feel. Or, I've been there for this many years or weeks or, yes, I've been feeling it coming. I didn't understand. You know why? Because one of the worst things you could possibly be feeling in the moments where you decide to do something is that someone around you is automatically just going to disagree or tell you you're wrong or tell you no, that's not what's going to happen here. And I bet you if you see how many other people at this point are like, I'm done, you won't feel almost like you're about to go into battle by yourself. Because that's how it feels. It does. But that's not what's happening here. Let's get into this reading because I feel like there are enough people who needed to get here present. I feel like there were also enough people who needed to leave. Again, not because I felt like they shouldn't be here, but more so for themselves because they just don't believe it. They just don't see it. They don't see that it's possible that their divine counterpart has basically taken on this life of, I need my person. Oh my gosh, now this makes sense. I randomly saw, I don't even know, I can't even remember how I saw it because I don't remember the movie. There's a movie called When Harry Met Sally that I know the title. I'm very familiar with this movie because it's an old popular movie, so I just know it. But I don't know it. So I've never seen this certain scene. And there was this clip and the guy says to the girl, I am assuming it's Harry saying to Sally, something along the lines of, I came here because once you figure out, who your person is, you're pretty much ready to be with them because you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with them. You're not trying to wait anymore. These are these moments where when you finally just decide, I can't do this anymore, that they just show up. When you finally decide to run, that they begin to chase you. And when you finally decide, I guess this just isn't it. I guess this just isn't my person, that they come to you and they say something you've been trying to say to them all along. That is the energy. That is the shift. Why? Because the twin flame couples who are supposed to be together for 2021, it's cuffing season. Do you not understand? If you're supposed to be actively working on your mission in the next few months, you're going to have to get together sooner or later because many of you have avoided working on your purpose. Many of you have avoided even trying to figure out what your gifts really are or what they mean, how to use them. And you're going to have to spend the beginning of your union, unfortunately, most likely not in a very good space with your twin flame because now both of you are going to be trying to figure out your space, all right? It's not a bad thing. It happens with everybody. So it's the forming of a group, okay? Storming, norming, something, performing. Forgive me, but I forgot. But essentially it just says, when a new group of people or a new team or whatever comes together, and that's what this divine partnership is. It's a team. That's what your family will be, a team. When they get together, they go through these different phases, and it's pretty typical. Everything's cool. We're getting to know each other. Then there's some fighting because it's like, wait a minute, okay? But then once we kind of get to, know each other's energies and understand each other, everything works out and we become hopefully a really cohesive, strong unit. That's what is going to have to happen. And if you're not already distracted enough and, completely just in your purpose and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to be distracted by union and it's going to take even longer to get into your purpose. So again, please heed my word when I tell you, get a hobby, get something to focus on because this energy is huge. But this energy can also be pop, bubble burst, deflated by two individuals coming in basically, I don't know, with a lot of power, a lot of energy, and nowhere to actually focus that energy. You know where it's going to end up happening? A lot of this. I'm telling you it happens. You can say it's not going to happen to you. You can say, well, no, once we get together, everything's going to be perfect. But I'm trying to figure out how some of you who haven't spoken to someone for days, weeks, months, even years, expect to just get together and it be a fairy tale. You guys have to get to know each other again. People fight. That's normal. So get yourself into a space where you're actively working in your purpose, in your passion, and everything that you're supposed to do. Because what this right here says is that the divine masculine is looking at the feminine, who the divine masculine expects the divine feminine to be out in their garden with their fullness. Meaning you've already started building the income, well, maybe it is building the income, but building the empire. And the divine feminine is now seeing why the divine masculine was so focused on getting the 10 of Pentacles lifestyle, becoming the King of Pentacles, as we saw show up in the energies with what? The Queen of Cups. See, as the divine masculine starts to understand why you love them so much, you are going to start to understand why they love prosperity so much and why they were so obsessed with it, or so you thought. They were more right about things than you knew. I think all we need to do today, there were some things that needed to come through right now, and I don't know if this is really going, perhaps that's why I got that whole feeling and that sense of people having a very unique energy, a very similar energy come in and hit them in extremely unique ways. And I'm thinking a lot of what needs to happen with this reading is less about what even I would say and more about what resonates and how you take it. That's where the unique connection comes in. So now that we've got the 2020, 2021, 2019, okay, now that we've got the 3 years of building, right, creating, now that we understand there's a massive collective coming into union. And again, the truth is, many of them may not even be on YouTube watching readings. Do you understand that we are not the only... The YouTube collective that exists is not the Twin Flame Collective. They happen to be people who happen to be on you. You know what I'm saying? They watch YouTube. But that's not everybody. That's not it. And I think that people who tend to stay away from the social media side of it, but are still twin flames, some of them might not even know they're twin flames. That doesn't make them less valuable or less of a twin flame. You know who the most powerful twin flame is? If you say, okay, the one who knows they're a twin flame or the one who doesn't but knows they have a mission and actively pursue it, I'm going to say it's the one who actively pursues their mission. So thinking about this and saying, okay, well then, what is it, Grace? We see all these things happening. It does make sense. I've noticed the shifts. I've noticed the change. Even I'm different. What is it that we have to be able to see? What problem is present in our lives or our counterparts' lives or in our twin flame dynamic? There's something that is still here. And the truth is, it's something that the divine feminine has control over. It doesn't mean it's your fault. Doesn't mean you're to blame. And it doesn't mean that you're the only one who can fix it. But you do have control. So let's get that clear. First and foremost, what is it that the divine feminine does have control over, but really everyone involved is kind of ignoring, that is going to create tension or issues for people who are supposed to come into union or even do come into union? It's still going to happen. What do we need to understand? We saw this. Did I go through and look at all these? Or just this? What? Hold on. Wait, no, it would be here. No, I didn't. What? Why did I look at this? Okay, focus, Grace. Page of Swords. We saw the Ace of Swords. Divine Feminine had 6 of Swords, but that card really represents the Divine Masculine pushing forward. This Page of Swords energy, funny story, remember I tell you I sense the Divine Feminine, this Page of Swords in this deck happens to be more Divine Feminine figure. I have a feeling here. Look at, oh my gracious. Okay, can't even freaking get, okay, too many things. Oh, too many things. Wolf, wolf. Okay, Grace. Because, okay, stop it. What are you doing? What is it the problem really is, and what's going to create more tension? Delays or changes to plans, challenging information, truth delivered without tact. You want to know the issue? Your plans and expectations, as usual. Don't get frustrated with me because that's what continues to come through. Your plans, your creation, your decisions about what's going to happen next and how things should go moving forward are exactly what's creating the tension. It's exactly what's going to create expectations in the future that don't get met. It's exactly what's going to, you see, it's going to continue to make you think something's wrong when there's nothing wrong. I see now why I kept getting these little messages. And I kept talking and talking. I'm like, man, get to the cards, Grace. You know how they get sometimes. Some of you are like, no, Grace, talk. I need to hear this. But you know how some people I could really do without the commentary at the beginning of your reading. Could you please be quiet and just get to But something in me was like, no, I gotta say this stuff. And now I get it. You know why? Because there are divine feminines out there, and really divine masculines too, who don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that just because you know about manifesting, or you know about, again, whatever you could do to control certain things and blah, 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 doesn't mean that you always get to use every tool in your arsenal for your highest good. If it goes against the highest good of all, that's not good intentions. That is self-serving. A lot of the plans that you have, even the plans you had for 2020 were self-serving. They were about what you wanted, what you needed, what you believed was a requirement. And most of it, especially if you're in separation, it's centered around union and reunion and when am I going to have where is my divine? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to live this way so that the truth is, until you can make a choice, regardless of whether or not you're in union, regardless of whether or not you've heard from your DM, regardless of whether or not you've heard from your DF, because let's be real. I know we got some DMs lurking. I'm telling you, both partners have issues with the plans because both partners, as we can see, these were their plans in the 3D. But both partners misunderstood what it would take or what would be required for them to be able to give this blessing or be a part of this type of lifestyle with their counterpart. They were pursuing it kind of like with weird intentions and a little bit backwards. It was not good. Because again, it was more so like, okay, now that you've given me the rubric, I'm going to try to figure out a way to take the plans I have and the plans you have and shove them to get in there. And it wouldn't work. So the reality is, those of you who made it this far and you listen to me ramble on, because that's what I felt like. I was like sitting here the whole time, like, dude, get to the cards. I kept saying, get to the cards. I would say it out loud. All right, we're going to do the reading. And it was like, nope, here's something else. Those of you who are still here, you need to hear this. Because the reality is it might not even be about your twin flame dynamic. Sometimes you're here because you just love me. You just love the information that comes. You love the tribe. You love the vibe. And maybe your union isn't really the issue. Maybe there's something else you're supposed to get a message about. But, many of you, the problem is you keep trying to freaking put all these... We've been talking about the deadlines a lot for like the past few weeks. And I'm wondering if there's a reason for it. I'm wondering if a lot of you are having deadlines approaching. I'm wondering if some of you were like, yep, 2020 is it. If I don't have a twin flame relationship by the end of 2020, I'm done with it forever. Something like that. I don't know. But I'm just looking at everything. And if it's not about this box, right? Because guess what? The divine masculines had a little bit of trouble here because they were the ones saying, yeah, until I can give you the world and have it myself as well, I can't be in a relationship with you. So they tried to, but they wanted you, right? Mr. Lightwork and I, our first fight was just like that. Our first fight, the first night we ever hung out, our fights are not really normal fights. We more so bicker. he wanted to be with me, but not, you know? And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. And then I was mad at him because I knew he liked me. I knew I liked him, but he didn't want to, you know, what I thought was man up and be in a relationship. So I was like, I'm not interested. I'm good. We can be friends. Actually, I don't really do the whole friends thing. I didn't say that. And he told me good because I wasn't filling out that application. So like, I'm just sitting here telling you, like, I get the feeling and I get the sense of being frustrated, looking at the situation and thinking, that's stupid. I thought his idea was dumb and he thought my idea was dumb. And then we move forward in the relationship and lo and behold, what do? He tried to figure out, how can I give her just enough of what she wants but still do all the things I want to do? And I did the exact same thing. It was when I decided to stop playing the game and playing into it and doing things his way and decided to be who I was supposed to be, even though I was afraid that if I did that, I would lose him, that things actually got better. Those of you who are here right now needed to hear that. Those of you who are here right now need to know that if you choose not to stand up for yourself, if you choose not to use your cunning, your strength, and your magic to move forward and be who you're supposed to be over a person, I get it. It's not just anyone. It's not just any person, Grace. It's my twin. It's my sacred partner. It's my other half. It's a person. Now, some of you don't believe in a spiritual being, don't have a spiritual connection with like, me, I'm, God and Jesus, team Jesus, right? Some of y'all don't have that. And so you're not going to get what I'm about to say, but some of you do. So if you do, listen. And if you don't, just hear me out and see if you can translate this into your own beliefs. There is never a point in my belief. So those of you who know, okay, in our belief, there's never a point where we were ever told to put our trust and hope in any man except the God man. And your DM is not the God man. And if you think that they are, you should probably unsubscribe from my channel because I'm going to hurt your feelings. But seriously, take the time to really ask yourself, are the plans, the intentions, the ideas, are the moves that you've been making really you standing in your strength, you standing in your wisdom? And if they are you good? If you're good, great, awesome. I'm proud of you. Cool. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you're having a good time in the chat or whatever you're here for, right? But if you're not, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm telling you, get it together. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. We all have work to do. We all have moves that we have to make that sometimes we're too afraid to make. But please, don't think that once you get into union, all your bad habits and poor choices and all the things that you're doing now are suddenly going to go away. Start breaking those habits now. You know that it takes 21 days to develop a new habit, 66 days for it to really stick. You've got the next couple of months to get yourself ready for 2021, which is the year where, again, whether you're in union or not, twin flames have work to do next year. Some of us, we were in some of the early waves where we had to be there to usher people in. That's why Mr. Lightwork and I, for a lot of you, when you watch readings from me or stories from me and Mr. Lightwork, you will realize that we're about a year, right? Or like there's this very specific cluster of events that you're like, Grace, how is it possible that you went through that and now I'm going through that everything, not just the energy, but like actual situations. And it's like, because some of us were meant to come in ahead. Some are the late bloomers. And it's not like, oh, look at you, how cute, you developed last. It's like, no, guess what? The late bloomers, when they bloom, they're going to be the ones that remind all of us who've been weary and doing this for a long time, hey, don't forget what you did, what you started this for. Don't forget where you used to be. And don't forget that burst of power you felt when you first got started. Where are you at? What wave are you on? Are you mad because you were on this wave or that wave or that wave? Some of you are on the early wave where you've known about twin flames for decades. I hope you're not in no low vibration because of that. Because I'm sorry, no offense, but most of the people that I have saying that they've been doing this for a long time, I have to block them from my channel because their comments are so miserable and negative. You guys need to buck up too. We're here to remind you and give you hope. You know what I mean? So it's like, look, we're all in this together. And if we don't start to shift our perspectives, if we don't start to shift our expectations, if we don't start allowing our dynamic to develop the way that it's supposed to, rather than trying to take what we know about twin flames and shove it into the relationship mold, take what we know about twin flames and shove it into societally appropriate. No, stop. And stop trying to take yourself and your life and your purpose and everything you are and shove it into anything. No more. This is about power. This is about influence. This is about authority. You don't have to have a lot of money, a lot of friends, you don't have to have anything to have power. So you need to start asking yourself, where do I make excuses? Where do I automatically, when a reader starts talking about anything, go into victim mode, into negative mode, into just playing devil's advocate just to be difficult, contrary for the sake of being contrary? Why would I come to Fiery Grace's page, especially if I know her, who she's pretty much a preacher? You know, she's not really a reader. She's more of a coach than she is, you know, a guide. I know how she is. And yet I come to her page just to bicker. You're not here to learn. You're not here to grow. Those of you who are about this life, this journey, about your purpose, about your mission, I have a question for you. Are you prepared to enter into 2021 and do your work regardless of what part or level of reunion you have reached? If you are ready and you are willing, I want you to say, here I am. Here I am. Type it. Here I am. I am here and I am ready to go. And even though I am not sure of much of anything right now, and even though I would really much rather have my partner with me or have my partner behaving in a certain way with me, even though I would rather not have to continue to work on myself for the rest of my life, even though I would rather not even be a twin flame some days because, dude, what? Whatever your case is, here I am. Even though I'm scared, even though I'm nervous, even though I don't even know where I'm doing and why I'm starting and how I'm doing, here I am. Until you do that, divine feminine, I know we're so tired of being picked on. You're not being picked on. That's how you're perceiving it. You're the powerful one right now. You won't always be powerful in terms of like higher power than your DM. It's not always going to be like that. But right now, it is what it is. You're the powerful one. You were the one who got awakened first. Some of you might not even really be the divine feminine. Some of you were just meant to be the one who awakened first, so you got an injection of divine feminine energy, because that is how this particular new cycle began. Are you prepared? Are you really ready? Because if you are, it's time to say, here I am. So we see this sense of spiritual downloads, insights, and really and truly spiritual empowerment. That is where your power really, I don't know why I keep hearing injection, right? But that's what it's like. It's like this quick, it's like this quick, like, I'm powerful. It's like when you pop the can of spinach in your Popeye and all of a sudden you're like muscles, If you really feel like you're ready to receive that power and stand in that power and say, here I am, you're going to have to acknowledge where you've been in the dark, where you didn't know what was going on. You need to figure out what you don't know. You need to figure out what you might have been missing. And it's not always going to be about your counterpart. It's funny because sometimes when I do these twin flame readings, even though they give us a lot of downloads and information about the journey ahead, it's almost more like we're doing a corporate meeting, right? Or like I'm sending out a memo. It's less of a reading and it's more of like news, you know, what are those called? Like a newsletter, a journal update or something. And right now I'm getting this sense it's like, hey, listen, turn it on, right? Like turn on the power. Everybody, look back over the last few years and ask yourself, what are the things you know you avoided? What are the parts of your purpose or your journey that scare you the most? Because if you want the information and you want to stop feeling stuck and you want to get to a place where you can start to really accomplish things and feel like you know, grabbed a hold of that calling within and reach this state of absolution. I mean, if you want that balance, if you want to feel like you're ready to go, that burst of energy, that Red Bull gives you wings kind of thing. If you're ready, look back at the scary parts, look back at the stuff you didn't want to look at, look at the things that you chose to ignore because you knew if you thought about the truth, it would hurt you. Look at the things your counterpart has said to you. You know how many people I have heard, this is like one of the worst things ever, and it bothers me so much, but it happens a lot. You know how many people I've heard tell me that the person they were with or that they liked or they wanted to be with or whatever the situation was would repeatedly say to them, I'm not a good person, you shouldn't want me, I don't know why you want me. And not necessarily just in the sense of like not having self-esteem, but like really trying to tell the person like, listen to me, listen to me. I am not for you. Have you ever had those moments with your DM where you felt like it wasn't just them being modest or them being kind of like in a low vibes, low self-esteem kind of place? Have you ever been around someone who's just treated you like kind of trash pretty much 90%, 95% of the time, and known deep down you probably shouldn't vibe with them, but you just stick around? Have you ever been in situations where you think to yourself, if I were to tell anybody about this, they would call me a fool? There are moments like that you have to look back on right now. Ask yourself truly, what would make you choose someone abusive? What would make you choose someone who just can't love you right now? And maybe not ever. What would make you choose that? Because some of you are going to realize that's not your twin, that's not your person. And some of you are going to realize that you chose them far before they were ready because you knew, there will be a time, there will be a moment where you stand in your true self and I can see you. But because I recognize you're not your true self yet, that means that I can acknowledge that you are not who I need you to be. Do not pine over that person. Do not pine over a false twin, and do not pine over a true twin who doesn't have it together. You are not being disloyal by going on your own journey, living your best life, and having your own insights. You are not being, what would you call that? I guess not hateful, but you're not taking away your love from them by shifting your energy and your focus into a space where you are more emotionally stable and able to focus on other things. Because the number of you who say, and then get mad at me if I call you out for it, I can't live without my person, and mean it, Honey, that is about you, not them. And they would not want to be with a person like that. I do not want to be with anyone who can't live without me. And I am a hopeless romantic. But can't live without me? No, no. That's not my partner. That's not my equal. So those of you who even right now are listening as divine masculines, and you're wondering, when is she going to get to these? You're here for a reason too, sir or ma'am. What's the other? Is there like a other? Do I say other, or is that rude? Y'all need to teach me. So look, I just need you to understand that if you really want to step into this power, because it's already been given, you've already received the injection, if you will, right? The download, the portal could have come through the 1010 portal, really. But I don't know. I have a feeling it's been here a little bit longer. If you're really ready for it, you're going to have to look at the stuff that's ugly and scary, right? You cannot just focus on the good. I'm not the type of person that's really into like shadow work, if you will. But if that's what you call it, that's what you identify, great, go do your shadow work. But if you're just like, Grace, what does that mean for me? Maybe I'm, a Christian, or I don't want to think about it as shadow. I don't want to look at it that way because it messes with my spirit, right? Okay, then take some time and allow your spirit to do an assessment, okay? 360, look all the way around, all right? Look at your life, look at the people in it, look at your DM, look at yourself. Look at your purpose, look at your power meter. You feeling powerful right now? Sometimes when I have a reading like this, where the energy is like, whew, I'll have people comment and they'll say, oh my gosh, Grace, you're talking to like 5% of the divine feminines. No, that's false. I know that it can feel like that in your own bubble if you're having a good week, or even if you're just a divine feminine that's just kind of fine with everything and nothing bothers you. But the truth is, most divine feminines who are like that don't watch YouTube tarot readings. You know what I mean? They just don't. They don't need it. You're here for a reason. You need these messages. Something in you can't speak on this right now for some reason. Some of you forgot that you should just go talk to God. So you're here and you're getting this message. Why are you still listening to this if you are one of those that says, Grace, can you just get to it? Why are you talking to the 1%? Because it's not 1%. It's more like 90%. It's more like 90% of the divine counterparts on this channel are in this space a lot of the time. And you can have as many good days as you want. I'm not going to condemn you for your bad days. I'm also not going to say just because you had some good days that you don't have work to do. And I'm not going to take back a statement that says you have work to do because you think that by saying that, I assume you haven't done your work. I'm just telling you, whatever it is, take some time to look at the dark crevices. Go through, the storage bins, right? Go into the storage locker that you've got over there. You pay $30 or $100 a month for, and you haven't touched it in 2 years. I'm serious. If you can't find the spiritual places to look, use your spirit to do an assessment of your 3D life. But it is time for you to look around, because what if all along, all this time, there has been a piece of kryptonite sitting somewhere in your house, sitting somewhere in your spirit? What if your divine counterpart is your kryptonite? If you don't know what kryptonite is, it's just something that a superhero, one particular superhero, basically cannot survive around it. He can pretty much deal with anything else except this glowing rock from his planet. So anyways, no more denying. What I really want to see more of is divine feminines who can listen to messages like this and get what they need out of it without feeling like they're getting brought down, or without feeling the guilty conscience, or without feeling the need to kind of lash out, right? What I want to see is, if you feel like you're in a higher vibe and you say, no, Grace, I'm not struggling with this, rather than typing that out and making someone else feel bad because they are, maybe you can say, hey, I used to struggle with this and this is what I found. And maybe this might help someone out, right? I want us to start being a little less haughty in our approach, and social perfection based. You know what I'm talking about? That social media perfect. I want us to stop being that way. Because the truth is, this journey has been heavy and hard, and 2020 has added to that in ways that some of us still don't understand. So this can't happen for you if you're not willing to do the dirty work. And it's funny because I just realized I flipped this over to see, remember, because I wanted to look. And now I realize, I remember what this is. That's 11. Okay. So we have 20. We have 19. Here we have 11. To me, this is really this ultimate confirmation that says we have been trying, whether this is God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, whether this is, Mother Earth. Everybody, we all have our different things. Someone out there has been watching you, loving you, trying to help you, trying to bless you. And the tough energy they sent in to close out this year, guess what? It's not meant to break you. That part of it's already over. That part of it is done. Now, it's up to you. You want the power? Do the dirty work. It's crazy because I'm sitting here looking at this and it's right here. You know what this is? You know what they call this? Stress-related health concerns. How are you going to have stress-related health concerns going into your greatest years, going into your mission? How are you going to allow spiritual and mental things to impact your 3D anymore? And again, I get it. See, this is why you hear so many people on YouTube like over-explain, or on social media, like, platforms over-explain, because I can already hear the people say, are you saying that the people who have mental health issues or who are just having a tough time should just get over it? And it's like, you know me well enough to know that that's not what I'm saying. But when you're having a bad day, that's what you hear. This is the point of this message. It's not just, everything Fiery Grace is saying must be accurate and totally apply to me. No, it's saying, what happens when I watch readings that don't give me what I want? What happens when I set deadlines and expectations that don't fit God's plan for my life? What happens when I ignore the insights that I've received? What happens when I refuse to go into the deep, dark places with all the light that I've been given? What happens when I just refuse? I miss out on all the good for my life. I miss out on being the best I can be. I missed out on being me. I know what that's felt like for the last, how many years have you been alive? Are you working in your passion? Are you all the way there? Again, if you're still watching this, maybe there's a reason you're supposed to be here. Maybe there's a specific card you're supposed to see as confirmation, a sync, or something like that. But if you're still here right now, it's because there's a longing inside of you. And the truth is, you've used, like I did, you've used union as your distraction. You've used your divine masculine as your distraction because it's a beautiful distraction. And there's so much chaos sometimes, and there's so much craziness that it becomes so easy to just get caught up in it. It becomes so easy to just say, yeah, you know what? I would rather deal with this stress than deal with the stress of my actual life. I would rather deal with this drama or this chaos than to fix the things in my life that are blocking me from taking the next steps forward because they terrify me. The truth is, the reason why some of you get so defensive when you watch a reading and a reader tells you stop being so worried about the DM and union is because deep down, you know that's not really what you're afraid of. Deep down, you know, many of you, again, I did it for an entire year, so I'm not picking at you. Many of you have gotten overly consumed with twin flames, with watching readings, with getting these answers, checking in or downright stalking your divine masculine's energy or even your divine feminine's energy. And the truth is, you're not really even that obsessed with twin flames. It's just become habitual. What you think is going to happen when you get into union You have all these expectations that you haven't put aside. You stressed out in the spirit because you haven't done the work that you were supposed to do. You did all the other work, but you ignored the, when they say do the problems on the test, and then go back to the hard ones. This has been the time they've been waiting for you to go back to the hard ones, and you wouldn't. I'm just saying, you really don't think that when you get into union, all this stuff isn't going to still be sitting there waiting for you to deal with it. It doesn't work like that. You want this fullness? You want what the DM wants, and the DM wants what you want now? Is this really what you're ready for? You're closer than you think. And I think this is the Band-Aid getting ripped off. I had no idea what all would come from this. And it's crazy because I thought this was going to be a big reading. I thought I was going to put so many cards. But no, look at what we got. All this tough stuff. Look what beautiful 3D stuff got produced from it. From the Two of Swords and the Moon. I mean, the Moon's pretty, it can be a good card. Two of Swords, it doesn't always have to be the word. But come on, we know this was tough. This is where we've been. This is what we've been dealing with. But this is what's been leading us up to exactly where we're supposed to be. And the truth is, Divine Feminine, it showed up in your cards in the very beginning. You are not even going to know. You're going to still be making decisions on what you need to do moving forward. And it may be for the first time in a long time that you finally start to make choices without your DM in mind. And it's just so funny to me because that's what I keep trying to tell everybody is the moment you stop focusing on your counterpart, they usually come running in. The moment you, and Mr. Lightwork always talks about it. It's something that even when me and him first got together, I think he was trying to hint to me, like, leave me alone. I want to chase you, but you're chasing me. And we keep running into each other. I'm telling you, work on getting rid of the things that are trying to be purged right now. Go back to those questions that you skipped on the test and make your best effort. You never know. You might get one of them right. You know what I mean? You might get all of them right. And that might be the difference between a letter grade, right? I want you to really take a moment and ask yourself, are you doing the best that you can do? And if you are, then why are you stressed? Do you really believe healthy things about being a twin flame? And if you do, why do you keep getting so low? And honestly, why do you keep watching readings? I know, a bunch of you are going to unsubscribe from me and keep watching a bunch of other readers and come back and be like, oh, Grace, I was trying to be proud, make you proud of me, and I unsubscribed from you, but then I didn't have your positive influence of telling me the truth anymore, and I'm back where I started 2 years ago. Don't do that. If you need readings for now, have the readings, but you need to unfollow eventually. You need to get to a point where you just come hang out in the chat just to be here if that's what you really want to do because you just like the tribe and the vibe. But if you need these messages, if you keep listening to me say the same stuff over and over and it's not clicking, but you keep coming back, it's because you know there's something that you just don't want to hear that you need to hear. I believe in all of you. That's why I keep doing what I'm doing. But I also really, really need all of you to step up. Just like you need me to step up. You need me to come in and deliver the messages and stuff, sure. But you also need me in my own space on a personal level to do what I'm supposed to do. Why? Because the Twin Flame Collective is like a gigantic transformer. Like a robot that was like it was like a Jeep, and then there was like a truck, and then we all morphed and we came together and we were like shoo, shoo, shoo. Transformers, robots in disguise, twin flames, here to save your lives. Okay, that was off the cuff. But my point is if you are the Jeep and I'm the truck and someone's supposed to be some other vehicle that turns into the leg, but they don't show up, we can't walk. We can't save the day. So we all have to do what we're supposed to do. So as much as I believe in you and as much as I'm proud of you for everything you've done, I will never stop being hard on you as much as I love you. I will not. I will not give up because I spent a few months in an obsessive low vibration, and I know what it feels like to be there. I spent time in a relationship with someone who didn't even know how to begin to love me. And I should not have put myself through that. But when I did it the right way. I want to help you guys make the best choices and decisions for your journey moving forward, because this is not easy. But you have to do the work. You have to do things yourself. And you have to do the hard parts, even if it's without your DM for the moment, without your DF for the moment, even if it doesn't get you one step closer to union. If you don't shift your intentions, if you don't shift your belief, if you don't shift your standard, and if you don't stop putting these deadlines on your journey, on your union, and all these expectations on your DM, you're still going to get into union one day. You're still going to be with your person. Me being frank with you isn't going to stop you from experiencing what you're supposed to experience, but it is going to make the journey a hell of a lot tougher for no reason. So this was less of a reading and more of a straight up spirit slap. This was less of a reading and it was a lecture. This was a message for those who know that there's something wrong with the twin flame journey that they're on, but they also know it's not because they're not a twin, because there's something. No, it's because the way that they've been approaching the journey is wrong. The way they've been approaching their divine counterpart is wrong. And now that they are willing to make a decision because they see there's a problem and also choose to acknowledge it rather than sweep it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist and be, kind of kill the messenger towards anyone who tries to point it out. It's like, no, instead of that, be someone who says, I'm going to stop planning things that are out of my control. I'm going to handle the things I know are meant for me. And I'm going to do that in the most effective way by looking at things plainly, acknowledging things for what they really are, and moving forward there. Some of you, point blank, period, are not getting into union anytime soon. Some of you, it's because you're not ready. Some of you, it's because your divine counterpart's not ready. And some of you, it's because it's just your journey. No amount of readings, no amount of anything is going to make that change. Some of you are going to be in union and be basically like straight up on your mission. I mean, talking missionaries on the field or in the field, out there doing your thing. And you're not going to be ready. You're going to want the bubble and the honeymoon stage. And you're going to be like, where's my 10 of cups with the rainbow? Why am I already out here doing all this work? And some of you are going to be somewhere in the middle. And if you keep comparing, if you keep trying to force it, there's no power there. There's no power when worrying. There's no power there. What are you doing? The first step is changing your mind, aligning yourself with divine's plan, and trusting that there is a lot more information available to you once you stop looking for the information that only fits your plans. Once you do that, you'll be better able to see what needs to be taken out of your life. You'll be better able to see what is really causing you the stress. Because most of you are about to realize after watching this reading that you owe your DM an apology, at least in the 5D. That you owe your DF an apology, at least in the 5D. Even if you maybe never tell them to their face, even if they've made mistakes, you know full well that the real thing that's been stressing you out is your purpose, your passion, and doing what you were always meant to do. You will realize all along the love that they've been giving you was exactly what you needed. Whatever they put you through was precisely what was required to get you to where you needed to be. So let's look at the last two cards, because to me, this represents our fullness. How will we start 2021? Or at the very least, how will we end 2020? I mean, that the timeline right there, I mean, there's going to be an overlap. But what is it that we can expect and anticipate? Because we are choosing to become the power couple. Because we're choosing to look at our counterparts' needs and really consider it from their perspective, not our own. What is it that we need to understand that really got set in motion 2 years ago? What is it that we need to either be prepared for, aware of, whatever? What is it? Ace of Wands. Okay. Sorry. Okay. The Two of Pentacles was here. And remember I told you when I saw the Two of Pentacles and then I saw the Nine of Pentacles at the, not Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands at the end. And then just now what I said, oh, Ace of Wands. And then the Queen of Wands. You're not going to know what hit you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. While you're over here trying to make decisions and choices about which way you're gonna go, your divine counterpart is over here looking for you. And while you go out and spread your wings and fly, which just so you know, this means a lot of you still watching this are about to go do your own thing. A lot of you watching this are about to release your divine masculine. A lot of you watching this, you just tired and you're fed up and you don't even realize that it's not them or this journey that you're fed up with. You're fed up with yourself. You're fed up with the you that fell for some things that were not necessarily 100% true or accurate, or you're just done. And you're ready to be whatever you're supposed to be. You're ready to create it. And guess what? The divine counterpart in this situation, the divine masculine in this situation, is the one who's inspired this in you. I don't know if this means that the constant ghosting or, you know, again, telling you, oh, we're not going to be together, we're not right for each other. Or it could even be the promise of one day we will be, but I got to get my money right, or I got to get my finance or my wealth, my house, whatever it was, they did this. And it's crazy because I have a feeling you're going to blame them. You're going to be mad at them. You're going to be frustrated with them. You're going to say this was, you know, DM, I did everything I could. I tried my best. And you're going to think it's over. I told you in the very beginning that you are not going to know what hit you. You are not going to expect it. You're going to have no idea what's coming. But unconditional love and the life of your dreams, it's on the way. And it's not going to be because you just sat there and got handed to you. It's going to be because you decided to go out and get it. What are the odds that the decision to move forward, to remove tunnel vision on union and to refocus on purpose, what are the odds that doing that draws the counterpart to you and brings every dream you've ever dreamt your way? If it is meant for you, all the good that God has for you to have in this lifetime, it's on the way. But you have to go meet it. It's on the way, but you have to go meet it. Do you understand what that means? It's like if you were adopting a child, but you had to go to another state or city to go get them and bring them home. You have to go get your blessing. You have to say, I'm here. I'm answering the call. Here I am. What do you need from me? You have to get off the tree. Divine Feminine, I know it is frustrating for yet another person to be coming to you saying, Hey, listen, it's your fault. It's on you. You know why? Because we hear fault, we hear blame, and we think, how dare you? It's like, no, what I don't think you understand is this journey was started with your power, your energy. You are the divine activator. You're the divine spark in your twin flame relationship. This journey, this dynamic goes as fast and as far as you do. That's why you're not getting anywhere in some cases, because you've been chasing a person who is running away from their purpose still. You've been chasing a person who has a false perception of what their purpose is, was given an incorrect map, or at the very least is reading it upside down. That's why it's not going forward. Your momentum will bring it all forward. Does that mean the divine masculine's off the hook? It never does. I don't think any reader, even readers like me who may be more biased towards the divine feminine or divine masculine just because of maybe like our personal things or whatever, or maybe because I'm in union. I don't know what it is, but even I am telling you, no, they're not off the hook. Yes, they still have work to do, but it's like you're the sibling, you're the older sibling. You know better. You have the information. You've been given the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It is up to you to bring this forward. I get it now. I was out. Oh my gosh. When I tell you I was sitting here this whole time, like, dude, this does not feel like a collective reading. And I feel like I'm going to get a lot of backlash for how long this message was, especially with how few cards came out. But I just realized this is not going to be for everyone at the exact moment that it comes out. But those of you who feel called to listen, and again, to continue to put up with the things that I said, especially if they didn't perfectly resonate, but you're like, no, I'm supposed to be here. It's because you needed to hear that. You needed to understand and be reminded that at this moment, you are the power and the authority in this dynamic. You are the one who is the most aware, and you are the one in power to take this as far as you want to take it, as fast as you want to take it there. You seem to think that unless your divine masculine is by your side, that isn't really what's happening. You think that if they're not with you, you must not be moving forward on your twin flame journey because we're twins. Shouldn't we be moving together? Come on. You can't make everything fit what you want it to fit just because you don't like what the truth is, right? You can't do that. You can't twist and spin things because you don't like how they sound, because they don't fit your goals. Divine feminine, the truth is, it's on you. And the fact that the divine spark wanted to come out and let us know, hey, from the very beginning, there was an awareness that the divine feminine had choices to make. From the very beginning, there was an awareness that the divine feminine would not fully be aware of what's happening with reunion because they, hear me, think they already are focused on that, when really what they're focusing on is anything they can use to get them away from their purpose. Do not let anyone lie to you. And don't be commenting in my comments because I will delete it. I don't care. Do not let anyone tell you that you can't walk in your purpose and in your passion until your divine counterpart shows up. That is not true. That is a trick of darkness or evil or the devil or whatever the heck you call it, that is going to get you to sit there and spin out constantly, waiting, not realizing all along you were the one who was supposed to be moving forward. The divine counterpart will catch up. They are wherever they are, and at the perfect moment when you guys are supposed to be together, like I tell you all the time, they're going to be right beside you like they were never gone. Get a move on. Up and at 'em. You are the divine spark. What? Look at this. I'm serious. Look at this. The 9 of Pentacles is the Queen of Pentacles in her garden. This is the part of you that the divine masculine is most intrigued by. It is the part of you that can create fullness, abundance, pretty much out of nothing and nowhere. This is the Queen of Wands. This is the divine. In fact, many readers like to call this the karmic. It's rude. The Queen of Wands is not just the karmic. Okay, that's not the only energy this could represent. These two energies are the things that spark the divine masculine most in the twin flame dynamic when it comes to wanting to be with the feminine. Look what shows up. And look at where you are. Between a rock and a hard place, trying to figure out if what the divine masculine thinks they want is even it. Trying to figure out if the way you've been going about trying to create a life where the divine masculine would feel comfortable, trying to figure out why you don't feel fulfilled, and then realizing, oh my gosh, it's because I have been focusing on everyone but me this whole time. Procrastinating and avoiding yourself and your own purpose. Come on. Look at what we have. Look at the completion that's occurring. But look at the divine feminine already creating a breakdown. Because of fear and because of the up and down sliding of high vibration, low vibration. I believe in twin flames, maybe I don't. I know I'm a twin flame, maybe I'm not. I know this is my twin flame, maybe they're not. Pick a lane, stay there. Deal with your stress, deal with your pain. If there's anger, frustration, and all that with your DM or whatever, deal with it. But if you're realizing maybe you've been projecting, deal with your own stuff. The downloads that you've been receiving all month long, and I have a feeling for some of you, you're going to listen to this later and be like, how did you know? This is 2022. How did you know I've been getting downloads all month? Because whenever you are meant to watch this is not meant to make you feel bad. It doesn't mean that because it resonates, you must be a bad divine. No, I'm sorry. It's not. None of that. I'm telling you, this needed to be seen. You needed to hear this so that you could see that the spiraling into fear, the spinning out, spinning your wheels, nothing changes, that has to end. And it's in your hands, but it's because you're completely capable, and you always have been, of making the choice and the decision to turn around, to forge your own path, and to create the life you've always dreamed of. Your DM is not here. Your DM is in the future on the day that is ordained to be your day of reunion. Go. Stop chasing the DM. Stop chasing reunion. Chase your purpose. It will guide you. It will take you exactly where you're supposed to go, just as it did, and it made me meet my DM in almost impossible circumstances. I'm telling you right now. If your DM isn't ready for you right now, it doesn't mean that they're not your person, and it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them and then they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Stop putting timelines, deadlines, and expectations on things that are not yours to judge. This was a fantastic teaching session, and I really encourage you to take a moment, if you're still here or if you just got here and you're like, whoa, this seems like a really deep reading. What's going on? I'm gonna warn you. This may not be something you want to watch, but I'm not going to tell you you can't, because the information that has come out today, to me, is the ultimate confirmation. We saw the Chariot, Nine of Pentacles, the cards that we saw were amazing. On top of the fact that the cards that we saw in the positions that we saw the cards, I'm telling you, it's going down for real. Next year is the year of the twin flame. Union or not, do your job. We need you. This is crazy. All right, I gotta go. This was supposed to be like a 30-minute, maybe an hour. Oh my gosh. No Grace. Oh, Gracie. Gracie Lou, what are you doing here? All right, so welcome. Hello. I am Gracie Lou. I am here to help you and guide you on your journey of twin flamehood. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscriptions, likes, comments. All of those things make me very, very happy. Please remember, if you dislike this video, I still appreciate you, as you have pushed the video into the recommendations once again. However you feel about this video, please do Make sure you let the world know, as it helps my points in the algorithm. Oh man, I'm just being real with you guys though. I kind of think it's funny. I'm an intuitive life strategist, and for real, I really do just want to help. I know sometimes the messages are like, ooh, grace. And sometimes it's like, I did not want to hear that, but I needed to. And like I said, you're not always going to like everything that comes out, and you don't have to. You can even click the dislike button. But make sure if there's a message for you that you get it. Make sure that if you're drawn to me and you're drawn to my channel, that you remember I'm not a typical reader. I don't even identify as a reader. I just know that that's what you guys see me as. But I'm here to help you figure out what to do next. But I can't give you that advice in a general reading and actually like really help you, you know what I mean? And be like, okay, here's your plan. But I can dang sure give you clarity. I can point some things out to you that maybe you haven't been ready to hear. And I can deliver any messages that are given to me. You are the one who has to make the decision. You are the one who has to take the strategy and use it. Don't be afraid. Don't ignore the problems anymore, because there are things that you do have to deal with. Closing your eyes to the problem doesn't make it go away, but it does make it bigger. Let me help the best ways that I can, which is telling the truth, keeping it 100% real around here all day, and loving you through it once I did. Because I know it's not easy sometimes to be reminded that you are an all-powerful king or queen, and you slipped up. It sucks, you know? It's like, oh, thanks. But the truth is, the king's advisor is probably one of the most valuable people in the kingdom, no? Why? Because even though they don't have the power and all that, they've got the influence. That's the real power. I'm coming here to say to you, I know my power. I know my gifts. But you're the king of this kingdom. That one in your life, the dominion that you have over the things in your area, in your space, in your proximity, and the relationships and the people, that's your power. That's your gift. Ooh, I'm shaking. Ooh, gracious. Oh my gosh. I have all kinds of services available, so if the general information that you get in my readings is not enough, or maybe you just want something personalized because you need it, or maybe it just feels really cool to get something from someone on YouTube, maybe check out some of this stuff I offer. I do have a huge sale going on right now on love letters, personal readings, and DM insight readings, which is just like divine masculine readings. So maybe you check that out. I also have exclusive access links, which is pre-recorded collective messages similar to this. But they're not for everyone, so only those who order it and feel called to are supposed to receive the message. Otherwise, it's not for you unless you feel like you're supposed to. So you can find all of that stuffs on my website. Okay, no, this is not the time to do an accent, Grace. TheFieryGrace.com. You can email me. Oops, it's over here. TheFieryGrace@gmail.com. I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. I feel so loopy and blah, 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 but I don't know. I just feel like this is probably one of the most powerful messages I've ever done. And if you made it this far, and if you if it resonated, or even if there was just one single line, as a matter of fact, do me a favor. If there is a line or a point in this reading that you are like, whoa, Grace, honestly, even if you're like, I could have done without the rest of it, put a timestamp. I just realized that is a really, really great way to help people in the collective. Because people do go through the comments, especially in the twin flame and the spiritual communities, to kind of get the sense of what others are going through, see patterns, see signs, see syncs. So in addition to the encouragement that you can be leaving, actually like typing things out or quoting me, something in the reading I said that maybe you think, oh, that one sentence I need to hear. Timestamps are a great way to be like, hey, You know, if you need a message about this right now, click here. And I don't know, I have a feeling. So do me and the rest of the collective a favor on this one, because it's such like a deep message. Point people in the right direction. Leave those nuggets. Leave those gems. Even if it's not something I said and it's something you came up with, some train of thought, a quote it reminded you of, whatever. But this reading in particular, this message, there's so many twin flames out there who need the reminder, who need to see the truth. So support this message. I feel weird asking you guys to support this message because it's so crazy, but it's real and it's needed. All right, I'm stalling. I just love hanging out with you so much, and I miss you guys so much. But I do have to go now. I'll be the same. Okay, no. But I will talk to you soon. I really hope that this hits. I hope that this touches you. If you made it this far, please leave a... Oh, what kind of emoji? Ooh, a plant. Some sort of growing thing, like a flower or a tree or a leaf. Leave a plant. I know, it's a lot of things. If you feel like participating, please do. I always like to see who leaves those. Like if I wait till the very end, I like to see who leaves those. I don't know why. So it's really just for me, I guess, to giggle. Okay, I'm out of here. I'm already gonna miss you. Bye. Oh.